Hey friends, what you cooking for dinner tonight? They're like, I don't know. Well, I got you covered today because we are going to make four make-ahead dinners, and we just need a couple of days to prep. If you do your prepping ahead of time, you can get your dinner on the table in less than an hour. We're going to prep everything as much as we can ahead of time so that on that day we can just throw some things together that are already cut up, that are already measured out, and we'll get that dinner in the oven and we'll be eating in less than an hour and not just boring leftovers. It's going to be some really tasty dishes. So, what's in these? What are these tasty dishes? I'm glad you asked. We are going to make a chicken tinga taco. That's a smoked chipotle tomato-based sauce, and we're gonna cook our shredded chicken in that, and it's gonna soak up all the yummy flavors. And then we're making a pineapple mango, like a mouthful, pineapple mango salsa that is bright and fresh, and it livens up that taco. So that's great, a great dish. The next dish we're going to make is a buffalo chicken dip hot and hearty sandwich, and we're going to toast our sourdough bread and make that dip, and we're just going to go to town with that. And then the next dish, we're making a spinach and three cheese stuffed chicken breast that's been marinated in some Italian dressing. And then and we're going to serve some wild rice with that. And then our last but not least, this is something new to me, is chicken Alfredo stuffed peppers. I don't know why I have never thought of that before, but the combination is fabulous. So we're going to go ahead and make those. So go ahead if you're looking for some inspiration for your meal planning and you want to save some money. I would say go ahead and watch today because I spent less than $13 on a pack of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We not only got four meals, four dinners, but we had at least four lunches out of that. So we got our a great deal on that pack of chicken and the mileage and the meals that we can make. You know, you can make your dollar stretch even in 2025. You can still make your dollar stretch, and I'll show you how we're going to do that today. So keep watching. So one of the things we want to do is get our chicken prepped. You see I have a big pack. We're going to make four meals out of that. Now, depending on the size of your family, you might need a little more, but it's just two of us. So I only need this big pack here, and it's all boneless, skinless chicken breast. Now, it's kind of the easiest to prep, but also keep in mind the chicken breast with the bone in and the skin, you do get a lot of flavor there. But it's just not as versatile as far as using it for different type of meals like what we're going to use today. Well, let me wash my hands. I'm going to be handling this a lot. So what we'll do first is we're going to tenderize our chicken for our baked chicken. Well, let's set that aside. And this has to marinate a little bit, so I'm doing this step right now. And you can see that these split breasts, let's see if I can get a little closer. Yeah, so these split breasts, they're cut open here, so they'll be kind of easier to pound down and tenderize. Let's do one at a time. Now this might actually feed 2 people. And I'm using this flat end here just to tenderize and flatten this out. On the thicker end, of course, it takes a little more pounding. And I use these thick freezer bags because they're more durable than just this regular storage bags. You can kind of flatten them out to the desired. We're going to roll them with a goat cheese and fresh herbs. We're going to let this marinate, but let's take this out and do another one. Let's see if we can find a smaller one. Yeah, this one's kind of smaller because I think that's going to be plenty enough. Taking off the excess fat. All right, pound away. So you can kind of see the thickness there. It's not quite paper thin. And here's the other one. And that's going to take a little while to bake. That one will be, so I want to wash my hands because we're going to put our marinade in there. With this marinade, I'm just using a bottle of, store-bought Caesar salad dressing. You can certainly make your own, but here we're just trying to make things like a little quicker, simpler. You know, we've got busy weeknights, whether you're at work, taking the kids to their sporting and different events. Let's start with a 1/4 cup. I wasn't sure if I quite needed a 1/2 cup. Yeah, let's go with a 1/2 cup. You know what? I'm going to do an 1/8 cup. So we did one, we are doing not quite a 1/2 cup. All right. We'll let that marinate for at least 2 hours. 6 hours, even overnight, is fine. That would be good. So let's set that side and let's get the other chicken ready. So to consolidate our chicken marinade, I went ahead and took one of the chicken breasts and put it in with the baked chicken marinade. It's the Italian dressing. I'm sure my sound is on, yeah. And we put one of the chicken breasts for the Chicken Alfredo Stuffed Peppers and 1 teaspoon of garlic. Just mush that in so it's evenly incorporated. Now we've got a chicken breast for our chipotle. And I'm going to take, I freeze up, whenever I use canned chipotles, I never use a whole can at once. So I like a little spicy, but not a lot. So we're just going to put like 2 tablespoons. Let's put a little bit of avocado oil with that. You probably could let that come to room temperature. I just kind of was thinking it through how I want to do it. You can put a little salt and pepper or cumin in there. But I'm just going to use the chipotle for now. We'll season it later. This is just to get it marinated so that we can cook it all on the same day, so you're less cooking all together. So I need some of the hot sauce. And this is for the buffalo dip. And I'm just going to use just a little bit in here. Probably like, we can use the same, not even a quarter cup. But the rest of the bottle we'll use for when we make the dish. And that way you've got all this chicken. You're going to have chicken every night, maybe 4 nights in a row, 4 nights in a row, but it's going to be very different flavor profiles, so you're not going to get bored with it. So let's go ahead and get those in the fridge, clean up, and prep some of our veggies. It is time to cook the chicken in the oven. We have the oven preheated at 400. Now we're taking a little bit of our goat cheese and seasoning, and let's add our, and that was at room temperature, so should be easily spreadable. Let's go ahead and put our other cheeses, our mozzarella. I used a little Asiago. You can use your favorite cheeses. I'll just kind of mix that together. All right. I'm just going to sprinkle the spinach on top. All right. So we got two pans because we're going to do our chicken two different ways, but bake it at the same time. So the chicken for the buffalo chicken dip, we're going to put in this porcelain. Let's put a little little oil on the bottom of the pan. And we've got this huge chicken breast, and we're gonna cook that, and that's been marinating over 24 hours. Actually, I was thinking, because I think I said earlier 24, it's more like I had it a day and a half marinating. But when I got home from grocery shopping, I went ahead and threw those in a bag to marinate. So then we're gonna take our chicken breast that we've been marinating in the Italian dressing. You can put that in the same pan. That's not going to really hurt the flavors for the buffalo dip. All right, and then we're going to take some aluminum foil and we're going to cover that. So you can see this pan, we have the buffalo chicken and the Italian chicken. And let's just put a little paprika on the buffalo. Let's put a little chili powder. Just a sprinkle so we know which one is what. We're going to take the shiny side down, cover that pan, and put this in there. This will cook. I'm expecting that might cook a little bit quicker. We want it at least at 160, 165. And now we're going to go ahead and do the chicken stuffed. Woo! That was like partially cooked from that vinegar acid. All right, let's set that aside. Oh, I won't wash my hands quite yet. So I want to flatten this out. Probably could have split these. That probably would have been the best thing, but right then. But all right. Let me wash my hands, and we're going to put the cheese mixture on there. All right. I really should have cut these before I started, because I think I maybe over marinated, because I feel like they kind of, not the word disintegrated, but they shriveled up a little bit, but we're going to make do. So we shouldn't have to really put much salt and pepper because we've had that marinating too long, but I am going to put a little bit. That piece is pretty big, so yeah, if you want these more evenly proportioned, definitely cut them up. It's a little messy looking here. All right, so we got salt and pepper. Now we're going to put our cheese spread. And these are going to cook. You know what, this one I'm going to, let's see, how am I going to do that? Let's cut that. And I might throw this extra little bit in that other pan. But let's put this to the side, so for now. And that goat cheese a little thicker, so I think it's a little easier instead of just spreading it with a spatula. Use your hands, a little easier. Making sure you can see, because I hate when I do that, when I get working and I think the camera's in the shot and you can see. If you're doing this for the whole family, make sure you even it out so they're all kind of relatively the same size. That was one step I didn't do. All right, let's take our spinach. The spinach is going to shrink down quite a bit. Sticking to my cheesy fingers. I'm missing some on there. Yeah, that's sticking. All right, let me wash my hands again. All right, let me see if I can get a better angle. All right. So we're going to call these very rustic because I didn't have it that organized. And I'm just going to, I'm definitely going to probably need some toothpicks. Let's put it more closer to the one end. So they're really falling apart, this meat, a lot. Probably over marinated it. But we're still going to have the good flavors. Now let's put the fatter ones on the ends. This meat I'm going to put in that pan. Wash my hands again. So note to self, after you pound out your meat, try to get it proportionally cut the same size so you don't have a mess like this. I mean, it's not going to adjust your flavor, but and let's see, do I really need a... I'm not going to bother with toothpicks. I notice some people use it, some don't. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Put that in there, that little bit. And we're going to put a little bit of a crust on there. We're going to take our yogurt and spread the top. That's so that the crust can adhere to it. You can use a mayonnaise and mustard. Mostly like 2 parts mayonnaise, 1 part mustard. I didn't do that on mine. My husband's not a fan of mayonnaise or mustard. And this will give you the same kind of effect you want, because you want the crust to... This just helps out that chicken a little bit, because we don't have this chicken's boneless and skinless. And I feel like that takes away from some of the flavor, but... And of course, when you don't have the skin, you don't have a crust. So we're going to make our own crust. All right, let's put our breadcrumbs, some salt, a good 3 pinches, some pepper, some of our herbs. Let's use a little more thyme than the rosemary. And mix that up. And let's take a little bit of melted butter in there. I've got a couple pats of melted butter. Toss that. That was pretty simple. And throw a little bit of garlic powder in there too. Wasn't much left in that container. All right. And then we're going to coat the top of these chicken breasts. So I've done a lot of research with chicken breasts, and like if you roll it up and stuff it, about how long. There are different times, different cooks, different chefs do have different times. I went in the middle of the road. I'm doing it at 400. I've seen it at 350. I've seen it at 425. There might have been even a couple I saw at 450. So I'm going to go at 400 with these being stuffed. Figuring about 20, 25 minutes. This one without being rolled up, that's probably going to be about 20 minutes. So let's get them in the oven at the same time. And how much you have in the oven too, that's going to change your cooking times a little bit. If you're cooking a lot more, it might be a little bit longer. I'm going to put that on one side. This thing on the other. Halfway through, we'll turn the baking dishes around. All right, it's halfway through. Ooh, watch out. It's hot. Ooh, it's looking nice already. Let's turn it around. Kind of cook it evenly. And then we probably should have done this before, but I forgot. So we're going to take our chicken stock that we reserved and put that in that pan, and it looks still fine and juicy. This just helps keep it nice and juicy. Alright. Let's check back. let's check back and see how it turned out. Let's go ahead and make some wild rice to go with one of the chicken dishes. I'm going to probably use it with the baked chicken. So do about 1 cup. We could make a little bit more if we want to add this to one of our other sides. Well, just make as much as you're going to eat. Or if you want to have wild rice or some kind of rice with one of your dishes. If you're making a full family meal, you might want to do a little wild rice to go with or white rice to go. Oh, you know what? I only wanted to do a whole cup. I forgot. You want to do a little white rice. To go with your tacos. I need 2 cups of water. Actually, make sure I'm doing this the right. Yeah. Bring it to a boil once. That's how I do my white rice. We'll let that come to a boil. We'll put the lid on. So that will be all done. All right. These are finally done. One is gone because my husband already ate it. He couldn't wait. He had to go to bed because he had to go to work. So, but I'm going to do I should actually do a photo shoot of this. And I want this big one. I'm going to put it on my rice, on my wild rice. And then I'm going to put these on a smaller plate and I'll do a little close up and then we'll do a taste test. We still have the other in the oven. We need to pull that out. Actually, you know what? Let me pull that out before I do the photo shoot on that. Because this took longer than I was thinking it should. Hopefully I haven't overcooked this. I'm putting it into the fattest part of the breast. All right. Yep, we're at 160, so that's good. We don't want it dry. I think we're good. So I'm glad I checked that because I don't want it to be overcooked. I'm going to turn my oven off. Let me do a couple shots and then we'll taste that and we'll go on to do some of the other prep that we need for all our week-long chicken dinners. Okay, let's take a taste. It's cooled down enough. We let the juices go back in there. Let's see. Hopefully it didn't dry it out. That's good. I feel like it's a tiny bit dry, but not too bad. Oh my gosh, the flavors are like phenomenal though with the 3 cheeses. We have the goat cheese, that's mozzarella and Asiago. Oh my god, that's really good. Now we're going to prep our orzo pasta for our stuffed peppers and need a couple pats of butter. Oh, this is really cold. I had it in the fridge. And I've got a pretty hot pan. Well, starting to melt. It's not really sizzling, but probably use like a tablespoon of butter. Let that melt a little bit. And then we're going to measure out. We're only using a half a cup of dry orzo. Now, you can boil it and get it prepped this way, but this gives it a little more flavor. And it's really not very difficult to do. So we used a half a cup, and we're going to toast that. It's kind of like a little bit like vermicelli. And you can see the orzo. I'll show you a moment. Let's just get this coated good. I'll let that toast a little bit. Give it a little bit of depth of flavor, nutty flavor. Let me show you orzo. Orzo is like a little, it looks a lot like rice. A little, I don't know, it's diamond size. Can you see it against my hand? But yeah, very little. It's like, looks like little grains of rice. This is a great pasta for soups. It's great for this recipe we're using today. Stuffed peppers, some casseroles. If you haven't already, subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe because I have a great Italian dessert made with this orzo pasta. And you're like, pasta for dessert? Believe me, there's enough sweet fruit in there and cream that you have no idea that, because pasta can be used for sweet or savory, but that's a whole nother topic. But go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. And I think, what is that called? Rosa Marina. I believe that's the name of the dish. I did that several months ago in the summer. It was a great, refreshing dessert. But like I said, you could boil this up with liquid, but this just gives it a whole lot more flavor. And you can see, I'll try to get a close-up, it's already starting to brown up. And with pasta, ooh, let's turn that down a little bit because it is really, like I said, this is a small amount. So you're going to use a 2-to-1 ratio on your liquid. And so we had a half a cup. So we're going to need about a cup. Let me put this. Careful, it's going to be really hot. I had about a cup and a half of chicken broth here. And we'll cook this probably, I think maybe 8 minutes. You want it a little al dente because it's going to be cooking again in your stuffed peppers. So we'll have that done. We'll move on to some of our other ingredients. Just a little side note, if you have your liquid, I have this on medium, closer to a little bit medium low, but you can see my liquid is, we don't want that, but just add a little bit more chicken stock, or you can add a little water. Because remember, the chicken stock has a lot of sodium in it, and I used unsalted butter to cook that in, so we don't have a ton of. So we've got 4 minutes to go. I might add a little more liquid. Okay, as you can see, this is completely cooked up. I did it for a little over 7.5 minutes. And we're going to go ahead and take that out of the pan and set that aside for when we prep our Alfredo stuffed peppers. And I'm going to use this same pan. We're going to go on to our Chicken Tinga Tacos. Try to get all the orzos out of there. And I don't even need to clean the pan because we're going to be using chicken stock and butter. It's nothing in there. It's going to change their flavors. So I'm going to put this on. It's pretty hot. Let's put it on low for now. Let's get that chicken ready. Let's get our chicken cut up for um, the pan. And actually, remember we had that marinating. And this has been marinating over 24 hours. And I'm just going to cut this up a little bit because it'll cook a little quicker, and that's what we want, right? Let's see. And I'm just going to cut these kind of like in medallions. We could cook this in the oven all at once if we wanted to cook all our meat at once. But I decided to do it stovetop because I think it'll give it a little more flavor. This is a boneless chicken breast. I think I'm cutting them about pinky width apart. Here, this breast. This is a large chicken breast. This is going to easily feed two. So this ratio amount is perfect. If you're an empty nester, just you and your spouse, it's going to be nice. I'm going to wash my hands though. All right, let's put our pan on the burner and let's put a little olive oil in here. Now, of course, if you're making this for the whole family, you're going to increase the ratio amounts. And I'm going to save that chipotle. I probably will put it in the pan because we don't want to waste any flavor. Let's see, what did I do with my onions? Right in front of my face. Not in the shot all the way. Let's back up a little bit. There we go. And we will take, we don't need much onion in there, probably like a couple of tablespoons. Now, a lot of people that make this, they'll do like a shredded, thin shredded onion. If you're feeding a whole family, you can probably use up to a whole onion, really. But I'm just trying to get the flavor of onion. And if you have family members that don't like the texture, this is a great way. I minced this ahead of time. I'm just going to let that get a little translucent. This is really, really quick. Now, see, if you already have your chicken cooked, like, how quick is this? If you have your stuff all prepped ahead, you come home from a busy night, you can have something other than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or cereal. Not that I'm opposed to it, because I like that now and then. But if you're looking for something flavorful, especially if you got a whole family, this is great. All right, so we've got that close to translucent. Let's just put a little tad of our garlic that if I can find where I put it. I had all my prep, right in front of me. And we're just going to use a tiny bit in there. And you can put more if you want. All right, so I've gotten that a little bit hotter than I want. Let's go ahead and put our meat in there. And I'm just using this small pan because it's a small portion. And let's go ahead and I probably should have took those onions out, but live and learn. So that's scorching, and we don't really want our garlic to scorch. So hopefully this meat has cooled it down. But we got a lot of great flavor on the bottom there. That will cook a little bit. We've got our stuff prepped for the rest of it, and I'm going to go ahead and put my rest of my chipotles. So For serving of two, I think I use like three to four of the canned chipotles. I'll have to look back because now I can't remember. And it depends on how spicy you want. All right, let's go ahead and just dump the rest of the stuff in there. Just ground up a little bit. Probably could go a little bit more. And we're going to use, oh, you know what? This really needs a little more liquid in there. Let's go up to a cup of chicken stock. Added a little bit more bouillon to there. All right. Let's add our tomatoes. We did the zest of half a lime in with those canned diced tomatoes with chilies. Ooh. And let's go ahead and let's start with half a cup of chicken broth. And this is a little pan, so I'm going to put my little lid on there. Now, I don't know if I mentioned already, but a lot of people do use chicken thighs also, because that meat gets really nice and tender. But we used the big pack of chicken breast because that was pretty economical doing it that way. But you can certainly buy like a smaller pack of chicken breasts and then a smaller pack of chicken thighs if you want to use that. I love dark meat on chicken. Matter of fact, I had avoided boneless chicken breast quite a bit because really overcooked it a lot. All right, so let's put that on to a medium low right now. Let's do it right down to low. We'll let that cook, probably take about 10 minutes. We'll check back on that. And just a reminder too, if you're not eating that right tonight, if you're using this for a leftover for another night, you don't want to make your salsa because all the veggies and stuff get wilted. You want it nice and crunchy and fresh, and that will really perk up your chicken tacos. So we're going to serve this another night. So we're not going to make the salsa. I'll make it for you just to show you, but I probably will wait till the night I serve that. It'll be all over the video. So while the chicken is finished baking, let's go ahead and get our cheese mixture for the buffalo chicken dip filling. So we've got some room temperature cream cheese. We've got 8-ounce block. It's nice and soft. And then we're going to add I had to get my recipe that I wrote down. So I did this for 2 people. Let's see. 3/4 a cup. There's half a cup of measuring spoon, or measuring spoon and a half. That's 1/3. There we go. So I use 2 of those. We're going to use how much French dressing? 1/4 to 1/2. Let's just do the 1/3 since I already got this out. I don't want to dirty another. Another measuring cup, so we'll just use that. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I think I want more shredded cheese because I want more of that cheddar cheese. Now we're going to use a 1/4 cup. So we'll use a little less than this, okay? We're using the Red Hot buffalo wing sauce. That's nice and stirred. I'm going to put this in a smaller container so I can have more space in my fridge. I'll just sprinkle a little bit more in there. Then we'll sprinkle the rest on the top. All right, let's see if I can find a smaller container. Actually, I think this probably about the whole, well, no, that holds more. But let's put it in here because then we can add our chicken. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Actually, I think I have something a little bit better. Yeah, I guess this will work. This will work. We have to wait for our chicken to be totally cooked and cooled down before we, I mean, we can actually, it doesn't have to be totally cooled down. It can be just warm as long as you can handle it a little and chop it up because we got to rebake this. So you could make your dip, add the chicken, and then just bake that when you're ready to serve it that night. Because you've already had the prep, you just have to cook it, right? And that doesn't take much energy. Throw that in the oven. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm not gonna put that extra cheese on because I still gotta add the chicken. But that's done. And we can put that in the fridge. We're getting closer to being done. All right, friends, it's the second night of what's for dinner, and we're going to continue with our chicken recipes. So last night, when I was videotaping, I had a few more things I wanted to add to the first part of this, but I had technical difficulties, and it took me a few hours to figure it out. Figured it out. It was simpler than I thought. But anyway, here we are, and this is kind of like how real life goes, right? We have those unexpected things, but we've got most of our prep work done. So when you come home from work, you just have to do a few things, and you should have dinner in less than an hour, a little over half an hour. So we've already prepped our peppers. Tonight we're gonna serve the chicken Alfredo chicken stuffed peppers. Doesn't that sound good? I was checking to see what some trending recipes or trending dishes, and this is the one that came up, and I'm like, wow, I never thought of this before. I've made stuffed peppers a lot, and let me give you a little plug since I'm talking about stuffed peppers. I have a course that I'm working on, a cooking course, especially for beginners, but if you're a tried and true cook, you might want to add this to your recipe. But I have a course that I'm working on. It's Italian-based, sauce-based Italian dishes. I've got like 5 or 6 delicious Italian dinners made with sauce, and I'm working on that. I'm editing. It's slow going with editing because, you know, I work too out of the home, have my own business, and I'm making videos for you. And so trying to get it all done, but I'm hoping to get that out soon for you. So if you want some really delicious Italian food, then stay tuned for when that comes out. So what we're going to do is I found with peppers that if you pre-bake them a little bit, they don't get as mushy, and they just are more flavorful. So we've preheated the oven to 400 already. We're going to get that in there for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to go for 12. And we're going to let that go, but we're just not going to wait around. We're going to shred our chicken. Now remember, we made that chicken all together. And here's the one that was in the Italian seasoning. This is going to go great. It's kind of got like a pre-flavor for that chicken. And I got my little recipe note here. See how I wanted to make that. Let's get a knife. So we're gonna cut this up. I'm gonna shred this in my little mini chopper. That's gonna be a little bit quicker. And this shreds a lot nicer when it is warm, but this is cold. We're gonna shred it, and we're gonna slightly warm this up with our orzo pasta that we made. Listen, I have never tried this before, so we'll see. Here, I'm testing it out on you. I'm like, well, if you're trying something new, I'm going to try something new too. I was, I've been cooking. Well, I've been married for 42 years, but I used to be a cook at like a convalescent, or not so much convalescent, those people with developmental disabilities. Also, it was kind of a mixture of people with special needs and mental health problems. Anyways, I was a cook. I was a cook there. And so I've been cooking for a while. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm always learning something new. I love to learn something new. And if you're watching, I guess you do too, because you're looking for some recipes to feed that fam. So I'm going to just take that, and you can see, oh, I know, I was going to get a little closer so you can see how small. So you can see how small. So I did these little fine pieces. Let's get over here so you can see. And I'm just going to put that in there. I'm going to chop this fine. So let's see, can I put this all in here at once? That's a lot of chicken. Now I'm telling you, this is really to serve. This can serve. I'm serving 2 of us, but there's going to be leftovers. You know what? I'm not going to try to put that all in there at once because I got this little bit left over here. And I think that's just too much to try to top that one. So what I'm going to do is we'll go over to this chopper and give that a few pulses. So let me move my camera. All right. I read a lot of recipes on how to do this, and I mean, I think they pretty much said finely shred, so I don't know if all the recipes do. So wait, I'm gonna do it. All right, so let's take a look at that. And I'll dump that in a bowl. That is quite a bit of chicken. I wish I bought more peppers. I do have a red pepper that I bought. Could use that. That would look great, right? But I'm using that red pepper for my pineapple salsa that we have for our taco night. And I've waited for that one later in the week because I wanted my pineapple to be good and ripe and sweet. So I know it needs a little bit to ripen up a little bit more. So I'm guessing I've got like I might have 2 cups there. Chicken. If I have enough time, I will try to put a recipe on the bottom. I know I usually don't because, not that I don't want to, but that's a lot of extra work to get to the video. Not that you're not worth it and that it would be helpful, but this is my time constraints. I can't always get that done, but I'm going to work on that this year. So we ground up that chicken. Now we're going to just take some spinach and chop up some of that. Now you could put whatever vegetable you like. I would have liked broccoli, chopped broccoli. I thought I picked up a bunch of broccoli, and I think I got sidetracked in the grocery market and I didn't pick it up. I searched my fridge and I could not find it. So I'm like, okay, I had broccoli on my list, but I didn't actually get it. But I've got this good container of spinach, so we'll use that. I'm going to jam this pack full because this will chop down not too much. Now, I know we had spinach in the other, so, you know, if you want yours to be, you know, a little bit different flavor profile, then go ahead and get broccoli. I like a little vegetable in there because this is like a really delicious meal. And it's one, you know, I always like to get vegetables in there, especially if you're, you know, especially if you're feeding kids. Well, kids need nutrients, but so do adults. Especially you empty nesters, you know, we're getting a little bit older. We're, you know, maybe it takes us a little longer to do things, but we need good nutrients for our body. We want to keep our body healthy. So that's enough preaching about that. But let's get some vegetables. And if you're not a big, you know, I ran into a lady today. She was like, oh, I don't like vegetables. And she was having some serious health issues. And I'm like, well, you know, if you mask some of your vegetables in a delicious dish like that, I think you're going to like that. Now here, this is not too intrusive. It's a little bit of spinach. It gives a nice color to our dish. Now, does that look good already? I mean, like, that looks really good. All right, here's our orzo. I'm going to put this in here, and then we're going to slightly warm this up. We got like 4 minutes till our, I got really hard. I might have to heat this up a little separate and put it in here. So give me a sec. But, yeah, what do I say? Well, we have 4 minutes left. We use that time to get things done. You know what? I need to put a little liquid in here because I don't have any chicken broth right now. But we put plenty in there when we cook that. All right, let's just warm that up. We'll get some of our other, we're going to use a little bit of garlic. I'll put a little bit of onion, salt and pepper. You know, I'll add the salt and pepper after. And put my garlic and my onion in there right now. Ouch. I had some broth from that chicken sitting right on my counter here. Eh, tell me you never do that. So I'm going to use like 3/4 of a teaspoon. I don't want to overpower it because of the hubby. I don't know. Let's smell it. It smells good. You know what? I'm going to put another 1/4 teaspoon. That is not going to be too much. All right. I can hear my microwave went off, but let's get the onion. We pre-cut those. Makes life easier. Now, how good is this? You know, come home from a hard day and you got a nice hearty meal. Let's use a teaspoon. Let's use 2 teaspoons of that mixed onion. Remember, we chopped those onions fine so that we could use them for multiple recipes. Give that a good stir. This smells great. All right. I'm gonna make sure if any of it's sticking together, make sure you unlump it because you want that to be evenly distributed. Ugh, gotta wash my hands though. And we're last minute before those peppers come out. Let's move this out of the way. All right. Now, if you want more pasta, I forget, what did I end up, what did I do with the orzo? Oh, I did like 4 ounces, so it bulks up once you cook it. I think this is nicely done. Not a ton of carbs, a little bit. All right, so let's heat this up just a little bit in the microwave. That oven has went off the alarm. That is ready, so let's pull that out. Woo! All right. Let's do a little salt and pepper on those. And I'm using just a little bit of table salt. You can use sea salt also. I'm just grabbing what's quick. There we go. Let me see if I can get a little close up of those. And they are real hot, so we're not going to handle those quite yet. We'll finish mixing up our ingredients. All right. We're ready to mix this up, or we heated this. Now let's add our, what am I doing my spoon? There it is. So I made so much. I feel like that chicken breast was a lot. I'm going to save a little aside because, you know, that's going to make a nice little, maybe, chicken salad for lunch. I'm going to take a couple spoonfuls out. And if I feel like I don't have enough to fill those peppers, then I'll put that back in there. So, all right. Let's do a little more salt and pepper to taste now on our put a little bit of pepper. All right, now we're going to take some of our mozzarella cheese. We need about half a cup. And you know what? I have, I'll save a little bit for the top. I put a whole half a cup in there, and then we're going to use a quarter cup of fresh grated Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to save a little bit for the top also. So I need a lot less than that. There we go. All right. And now we're going to put our, did I forget anything? Nope. We need, I bought my favorite jarred Alfredo sauce. Now, if you want to make your own, you can go ahead and do that. But that's supposed to be a quick dinner, quick night dinner. So we're going to save ourselves a little time. I'm going to use about 3/4 of that and see where I'm at if I need any more. Because I adjusted this recipe so that it could feed, I would say this feeds 2 to 3 people. I cut them in half. You can do them a whole pepper and do it that way, but I like the halves better. Because sometimes you don't want a whole pepper, because I do stuff these pretty good. So we got our cheese, we got our chicken, we got our orzo. Okay, we cooked that, we added the sauce, we stirred, it's warmed through, and now we're going to fill that and add the remaining cheese. So let me see if I can even get a better shot. There we go. And these are cool enough to handle. They're still kind of warm, but now doesn't that look so inviting? To me it does. I hope it does to you. Well, I probably could have used that whole little bit. You know what? I'm going to add that little bit I saved, because I want these to be flowing over. I do get carried away sometimes as far as huge servings. And when I worked, I was telling you, I used to be a cook at I think they called it a rest home that was back in the early 80s. Anyway, I had to cook for a large amount of people. So I've kind of gotten, it took me years to not cook for a lot of people. I mean, I cooked for my family, but we weren't. There we go. Is that about even? No, this one needs a little more. Now, doesn't that look so inviting? Let me tell you, it smells great. All right. I'll wash my hands again. And this is going to go in the oven for about 15 minutes. We want the cheese to melt and it to be bubbly. Here's my head. Let's put our mozzarella and our Parmesan cheese on the top. I'm going to get a couple of pictures of this. I can put this on my socials. And then we'll have the finished look at it. So let's get this in the oven. 15 minutes at 400. And we'll be eating. Time to take the stuffed peppers out. The chicken Alfredo. Oh my goodness, does that look fabulous? So before I put them in, which I didn't show you, oh, my hair is crazy from the heat from the oven. It's like, ah. So I added like 2 teaspoons of the Alfredo sauce on the top of the cheese. But let me get a close-up of that because that looks so delicious and it smells. I wish I could translate the smell to you because it smells great. I'm going to get a close-up and some pictures. We'll let it cool down a little bit before we try it. I've let this cool down enough because I cannot wait to get into this. I don't want to burn my tongue, so let's get into cutting that open. Made myself a nice little fruit salad to go with our dinner. And you could do a side with a nice crusty Italian bread. You can do a salad. All right, let's cut this a little smaller because I still see the steam coming out. I had to adjust my camera. All right, let's try. I want to get a good forkful of this filling. Oh my gosh. Where has this been all my life? How did I not know about this? This is so good. This is so good. Oh, I love it with the spinach too. This is going to be a regular. I hope you like it as much as I do. If you like Alfredo sauce, you're going to love this. I can't wait to sit down. And tomorrow, we're going to make either the tacos or the chicken buffalo wraps, lettuce wraps. Or you can use bread if you want. I might buy some Italian bread. If I have enough energy to stop at the store, I'm going to get some Italian, some nice bread because my husband will not want it on a lettuce wrap. So if you got hearty eaters, are not going for the lettuce wrap, then go ahead and get some nice bread because that'll make that sandwich out of this world. Keep watching. I'm going to edit this. Hopefully it won't be too long, but it might be a little long because we're doing 4 dishes. So it's night 3 of our chicken prep meals, our make-ahead meals, and we are doing the buffalo chicken dip, and we're gonna make sandwiches out of that. You can do lettuce wraps or sandwiches. I'm gonna do a little bit of both because some family members are doing like less carbs, but other people need something heartier. I know my husband needs something heartier because he walks so much, so I'm gonna give him some bread with that. So we already made ahead our dip. We're just pulling it out of the fridge. I pulled it out of the fridge about 15 minutes ago. It's still pretty cold. And I'm going to transfer it to a another baking dish because we have to add the chicken. We didn't cut up the chicken. And what we're going to do is shred it in our little mini food processor. Got a little close up here so you can see what we're doing. And we could have shredded this. I know I'm not in a shop, but that's okay because you need to see. Let me shred up this chicken. Now, if I had shredded it the night of, it would have been a lot easier. But now it's really cold. And we're going to shred it in a little mini chopper, and that won't take long at all. Now, keep in mind, if you're doing these prep make-ahead meals, you really do need to eat the chicken 3-4 days max. So if you're not going to eat it right away, you can freeze some of this. You can freeze this. What you'll do is put it in a freezer-safe container. Put a layer of saran wrap over the top of the dip. Now when you go to bake it, the cheese and stuff might, because of the cheese and the fat and the cream, it might separate a little bit. So keep that in mind. But if you're eating them in a sandwich and a wrap, then you're not going to see, you're not going to see that. Still will taste delicious. So, but this is a serving for 2 people that I'm doing. I did a whole chicken breast because this is going to be supper, so it's going to be a little bit substantial now. That's going to make this dip look so much bigger once we put the chicken in there. So let's get the lid. And you want to make sure you have your oven good and preheated too. I didn't microwave it. I just transported it into this dish and mixed the chicken in. I've kind of got it, as even as I can so it can cook, evenly. And it spread just fine. Now we're going to take about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of some mozzarella. I have some soft mozzarella. If you have the harder mozzarella, go ahead and grate that, shred it. And we're going to put some of that on top. It's going to be so super cheesy and delicious. And then we'll put a little bit of cheddar on there. And if you want to make it simpler on yourself, you can just buy the pre-bagged. But I always buy these big blocks of cheese because it's pretty economical and you can shred it yourself. You get more for your buck. Save some money. And this is so popular, this buffalo chicken dip. I haven't met anybody that doesn't like this. Let me know in the comments if you make this. This is great for Super Bowl, right? Serve some nachos. I would say we got like 1/4 cup of shredded cheddar. We're going to put this in the oven. And while we got that baking, we're going to get our lettuce ready. You can put whatever toppings you want. Let's get this in the oven. So I'm going to rinse off our lettuce. Put that in our salad spinner. And iceberg lettuce is going to be the best for this. Also, like maybe Boston bib, or I think like a butter lettuce would be great for wrap. So I'm going to take some of these outside ones, even though they're nice and big. They're kind of like wilted a little bit, so we won't use that. One way to get your core out is give it a good bang on the counter. And usually that helps you to just pull it right. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Take that little core out. Now you might want to do that one's a little wilted too. You might if you're doing a sandwich, you can just take this and take some and shred it. If you're gonna make a lettuce wrap, take your biggest pieces, your nice sturdiest pieces, and I'm gonna do about 4 just to make sure I have some good ones. Just kind of have to be careful, a little gentle. And I sometimes will use lettuce, iceberg lettuce for cheeseburgers. Sometimes we'll do lettuce wraps. I'm really cutting down on my carbs, but I want a cheeseburger. Oh, that one didn't. That one was a little stubborn, but let's use that anyway, because well, yeah, that one's too wilted, I think. All right, we'll rinse that off with cold water. We'll do these and then we'll put them out on like a paper towel or something, or a plate. And then we'll do the ones that we're going to shred. We'll do that separately. I love these salad spinners. I think I got mine. So it's almost done, and I was sitting there waiting because I got my lettuce all done. Got my lettuce ready for my wraps. See, and as I'm sitting there relaxing a little bit, I'm like, I want a sandwich. I want the bread. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a sandwich for myself instead of a wrap. But you'll get the concept. If I have enough left over, I'll make it. But you basically will put your lettuce here, put a nice dollop in there. Actually, it could go in this side, and then roll it up. Just eat it that way. I've been trying to get off as much bread because during the holidays we've had a lot of goodies, and so I'm like, I really should be good. But it's cold here tonight, so I'm gonna get 2 of the smaller pieces. Now you can get a half a loaf of this. This is like a sourdough bread, and I thought this will be great. So, and one thing I forgot too is I forgot tomatoes. I was just at the store on my way home from work, and I forgot the tomatoes. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna toast this. We're gonna slather this bread with some butter on one side, and on the other side, we'll put some of the ranch dressing. I want to slather this really well. I caved in. I had good intentions. You know what? Let's put some butter on both sides. We'll put the ranch dressing on afterwards. I'm just going to make this sandwich be the bomb. And this is my sandwich. I get something in my mind, I want to do it. So I have some of the leftover ranch dressing. gonna slather that right on top. Oh boy. Doesn't that look good? And because I'm out of garlic powder, I'll just use some of this chopped garlic. And there's my buzzer for our dip. Let's see if it's ready. Okay, I hear ya. Get a little trivet. See if this is all melted and bubbly. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I think it could go probably a few more minutes, but I'm just gonna let it be because you need it to cool down a little bit before we put it on our sandwich. Let's pull the bread out. See if that's nice and toasted. Oh, I needed a little bit more. I'm gonna put the broiler on. So let me put that up a little bit higher. And we'll shred our lettuce for our sandwich. Boy, am I hungry. I am ready to eat. Oh, I didn't put the timer on, so let's check that. Not quite crusty yet. I want a little more crusty. Of course, I have it soaked with butter, so I don't know how crusty it is, but let's try for like a minute, 30 seconds. Remember to get out your chopped carrots and your celery because, right, can't have buffalo chicken dip without that. Oh yeah, does that look good or what? It's a little bit browned on the edges, but that's gonna be good. Let's turn the oven off. Yep. Actually, let me get another little hot pad. And let's go ahead and make our sandwich. Get a spoon. And I think I'll put some of that dip on the bigger half. Actually, let me get a little close up here because look at that. Oh man. Here we go. And I'm going to let this cool just for a few moments before I put my lettuce on there or anything, because it's going to be piping hot. So you could add whatever you want. You could add some sliced tomatoes, which I forgot. I was like, at first I was like, I don't want sliced tomatoes. And then I got thinking about it. It's like, why didn't I get sliced tomatoes? I think that would just make it so much nicer. And you can put a little chopped onion on there. I'm looking for my onions right now that I already chopped. Some nice sliced red onions would be nice. But I'm going to be lazy and just use some of this chopped onion that I did the other day. There we go. And tomorrow night, we're going to make our tacos, chicken tacos. And that really is the last night we can eat any chicken. So if you had leftovers on anything, go ahead and put it in the freezer. This dip, if you have leftovers, which I don't think you will, but if you did, you can put it in the freezer and it'll keep for three months. Okay, let's put the lettuce on, because I can hardly wait. This is a hearty sandwich or what? Let's put it on our plate. Whew! That is heavy. I need a good spatula for that. Oh my gosh, is that a monster sandwich? Yes. Do I need 2 spatulas? 1, 2, 3. Woo! It's piping hot. See if I can move this out of the way. It's hot. All right, let's cut that sandwich. And I'm going to cut it a little on a diagonal because that will look pretty. Oh my goodness. I'm being so naughty. There we go. Now let's put our celery and carrots on the plate. I gotta wash my hands quick. What do you say we taste this? Hopefully it's cooled down enough. Let's see if all the hype was worth it. Wow, that's good. Oh my gosh. The bread on the bottom is a little more soggier because I put so much butter on there. So maybe I would toast it a little first, the bread, then slather on my butter. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my gosh. You gotta try that, folks. That is so good. Oh my gosh. Great idea. Yeah, I would toast the bread first, slather on my butter and the ranch dressing. You could put a little hot sauce because I wanted the bread a little more stiffer. Didn't think that through. But now you know if you go ahead and make it. So I'm gonna go sit down. We could put a little hot sauce on the side. We got our carrots and our celery. Put a little of that ranch dressing. This is not a low calorie dinner, but it's perfect for everyone as my mouth is full. Perfect for a cold winter's night. So don't leave now because next is coming up the Chicken Tinga Tacos. And I was just talking to a couple earlier today, and they're like, we love Chicken Tinga Tacos. So we'll see how they turn out. See ya in a few. All right, friends, it is day four of our chicken meal prep for the week. And today is Chicken Tinga Tacos. So we're going to make the salsa. Now I started doing some things ahead. We've got a cup of pineapple, a cup of mango. Now let's get some cucumbers. We're going to use probably a quarter to maybe a little bit more, maybe 1/3 of our cucumber. And I use one of those seedless, I think this is actually seedless. It's like one of those, I think they're called English cucumbers. I'm not 100% sure if that's what I got, but I think that is. And I'm going to keep the peel on because it just gives it a nice pop of color. I'm going to cut these lengthwise. So I have these nice slices like that. And then we're going to cut them down in little pieces. And I'll have you see the middle of this. I thought this would give a nice cool, refreshing topping for our tacos. You know, you can really use this recipe for like a tostada. You could do quesadilla with the chicken tingo. But if you just want to even make a nice salad with that shredded chicken on top, right? So let me just show you what the inside looks like. Yeah, I would say that's seedless. Now I'm just doing this for my husband and I. So you empty nesters, if there's just you and your spouse, this is good recipe. It's a good portion size. You know, we don't want the same. I tried to do the same meat, chicken. We cooked it all in one day, and then we've got a different flavor profile so we don't get bored. So I know different ones have reached out to me and they're like, I don't want to eat the same thing every night, but then again, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time at night cooking. So this is kind of the alternative. I hope it's a good one for you. You know what? Where's my little paring knife? I don't want to get all these seeds all over my cutting board. So let's use a little. You could use a spoon too. A spoon would be great to pull that out. Just kind of going around the tip and sliding down, trying to get as least amount of seeds as possible. Now, I'll tell you, I've got I pretty much adjusted a lot of recipes that I saw, made it my own, you know, how we do, put the flavors that we like. So I tried to proportion it just for 2 people, but I still have a lot of leftovers on some of them. So like the chicken buffalo that we did last night, that was a serving for 4 people. Now if you have real bigger eaters, maybe 2 to 3. But I had a hearty sandwich, and let me tell y'all, after I ate that sandwich, it was delicious. But I was so tired afterwards. Now, I had a busy day yesterday, but I think that sandwich just was like a sedative. So I kind of did some work from my computer on sitting in the chair, but woo! I closed shop early last night because I was so tired. I'm like, okay, my brain cannot think. But sometimes we need a little rest, and that's our body's way of saying, hey, hello, take care of me, please. So I'm cutting these peppers in really small pieces because, right, we want this to fit on our taco. And you can make this, you know, when you get home from work. You can make it before, you know, you can make it the same day. Remember, I didn't make it the day before because I wanted it to be really fresh for my tacos. I wanted to have a nice crunch, but I do. Now, that's a lot of pepper. We probably won't use all that. So I'm just going to cut these 3 pieces, and I'll cut that into slices. Because I still have leftover celery and carrots, but that's a great snack during the week. And it's a great snack for, you know, have a little lunch and bring it to work. After school snack for the kids. But we're more apt, if we have it all prepped ahead of time, right, we're more apt to eat something more nutritious, and then, you know, grabbing, because we're so hungry, we're just grab whatever. So, you know, I'll use 2 little bowls. And then we are gonna put some mint in there, and I'll go ahead and rinse off my board and dry it good. I should look at my recipe to make sure I'm remembering everything, because I did forget one thing with my chicken tinga tacos. I forgot the Mexican oregano, and that's pretty much always in that recipe. You might find a few that don't have it, and I'm like, I get yapping sometimes, then I forget things. So now you don't have to use mint. You can do cilantro, and we'll see if I've made a mistake or not, because Will this mint in here clash with our chipotle? I don't know. But I wanted it more refreshing. You know, it's the middle of the winter, and I want some of my foods to be bright and fragrant. So that's why I went with the mint. And I've seen plenty of salsa, pineapple salsa, with the mint. It's just like, will this go better with a grilled chicken or grilled pork or beef? I guess beef is really good with mint. I'm going to cut this really small. Just need a little bit because we're just making a little batch. Now, if you're doing this for the whole family, you're going to have to adjust. Depends on how many you have to feed. And kind of the ratios I've been giving you the last few days, you are going to have a little leftovers. Oh, that smells so good. Nice and fresh. All right, so let me get my little recipe book just to make down sure I've got everything. All right, what did I want in here? Oh, I know what I need. Green, oh yeah, I had replacing green onions instead of, so I still got a lot of onions left. So I might have to freeze that. All right, so because I was going to use green onion because I thought it would be a little bit prettier. We'll see. Oh, I need a lime because we need a little lime juice. And I have my leftover limes from the other day when I used some of the zest, so we'll use that lime. So yeah, let's go ahead and mix this together. It's very simple. All right, we got a cup of pineapple, a cup of mango. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you, and I forgot. So you want to make sure you cut your pineapple in little, you might have to cut that smaller. I did bigger chunks on some of them, and I'm like, oh, I gotta cut that down. Dice that down. Like here's one kind of big. Just want it in small pieces, kind of like that. No big deal, but who wants a huge piece of fruit? You know, you want little dice. Some of these probably are a little bigger than they need to be. Let's dump our, you can substitute if you don't want to use red pepper. You can use Roma tomatoes. That's great. But since I decided I'm going to go with the red pepper, I want that flavor. And also the chicken tacos, they have that chipotle tomato sauce. So I thought, let me give it something a little different. I'm going to take a little bit of fresh grated ginger. I peeled down my ginger, the part I want to use. Yeah, I'll call that enough. If we need more, we can. And what else? Oh, the lime juice. You know, did I have salt and pepper on there? I gotta look. Yeah, salt and pepper. Let's do just a couple pinches of that. A little bit of black pepper. Got that. Let's throw our juice in there. Let's get a little juicer here. I love this thing. I've had it for years. I'm not one that can juice it by hand. Some people I'll see they'll grab it and squeeze it right in their hand. I don't have the strength to get the maximum amount of juice that I want. Let's see. Do we need that whole lime? Let's toss it a little and see what it looks like. Ah, it smells so fresh and yummy. Let's put our mint in there. So if we have any heat in our chicken tingas, I think this will cool it down a little bit. It'll just be a nice compliment. I'm going to use just that little bit of lime. That was a pretty nice juicy lime. All right, let's see. Do I have everything? Oh, not the, I got to put the onion. We'll chop the green onion. I'm going to clean up a little bit because we're going to get our meat reheated for our tacos. Hey friends, it's actually another day. I remade the chicken tinga tacos. They tasted fabulous, but the issue was my audio cut out quite a bit. So I wanted you to experience, I could just do silent and voiceover. I might put get a clip of it, me tasting it because they were great. But I wanted you to get that live scent. So I made another batch and I'm gonna shred the chicken. I made the salsa just like I did the night before. And let's hope. I had gotten a brand new mic. Who knows what happened? Sometimes I accidentally bump into it. I was wondering too, another thought is maybe I was jiggling around with my one camera stand. I kind of move it here and there. I mean, I'll turn the camera off and jiggle it around. And I thought, well, maybe the remote for the mic got loose. I don't know. I have a brand new microphone set, so, and it seemed to be working pretty good. So I don't know. But it's a bummer when that happens. Like right now, I'm talking. I tested it before I started, praying that it all turns out. So I'm going to shred that chicken. Give it a few pulses. You don't have to. You can do little cubes if you want. But I wanted it a little shredded. You can shred it with your fork too. This is just pretty quick. Let's put on our I'm gonna use that pan for my tortillas. Put that on high for now. And since I have my little mini chopper dirty, I said if you don't want your chicken shredded, it's just, we use those little street taco tortillas. And so by the time we put in cheese and our salsa, it's gonna take up a lot of space in our taco shell. So that's why I decided to shred it. But if you want something more to bite into, you can just cut it up in cubes. The thing about shredded too, well, this has been sitting in the sauce. So I made this yesterday, and it's been trying to replicate. I'm pulsing the sauce so it's nice and creamy. That's pretty good. But yeah, because this chicken didn't get marinated like others. I think, what did I? Oh yeah, I marinated it in the chipotle. So it's a tiny, slight variation, tiny. At least it's been sitting in overnight. Whereas the thing with their chicken tinga tacos, that first batch, wonderful thing is that's been soaking in that chipotle for 4 days. And just a side reminder, remember, you can only eat that up to 4 days. 3 is probably the best. So you can also freeze some of these meals. You can freeze this chicken with the sauce, and you can have it up to 3 months in the freezer. We're gonna heat that through because we're gonna eat them now. I'm really hungry. I didn't eat anything all day because, well, just maybe have a taste of the cake I was making. So you're gonna have this video first, but next video, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I'm gonna have my guava chiffon cake. You don't want to miss that because that is so delicious. But today's day of cooking and recording. I've been doing this for a little over a year now, and I would have never realized how labor intensive it is, but I love to cook and I love to share it with others, so it's so worth it. All right, so we're heating that through. Let's clean up, and then we're going to get our tortillas ready. We're going to pull out all our ingredients that we're going to add to our tacos. Let's put that on a lower temp. We're going to take a little bit of our shredded chicken. What I was saying is this time I shredded it a little bit more than the other one, and that's going to be really hot. So let's cool down. We're going to take a little bit of our spicy Mexican shredded cheese. We'll take a little bit of green onion. And we'll take a little bit of our fresh pineapple mango salsa. And let's see. Gonna let it cool down for a second. All right, let's taste this before my microphone kicks out on me. It better not. Anyway, let's take a look at that. Doesn't that look good? The second time around, I learned though from the first time is I put a little bit too much. When I went to reheat it, I put too much chicken bouillon. It was a little salty, so this time I didn't do that. So, Oh, yeah. The tortilla is a little crisp. The smokiness of that chicken, I love that flavor. And I would say that my pineapple isn't as sweet as the other one, but the salsa is still really fresh and with the lime juice. Got a good bite there. It's like a little fiesta in your mouth. So that's good. I'm putting this on the rotation. Didn't know I was going to like this so much. Really, I don't make chicken tacos. I mostly make beef tacos. So this is really good. This would be great to bring to a potluck, or you're having a get together at your house, or asked to bring something to your friends. This is a great recipe. It is delicious. And this is the last day of our four dinners that we made out of that chicken breast. Pretty good, huh? So catch me in the wrap up of the whole video. So let's wrap up uh, our experience here on making our 3 cheese stuffed chicken breast. We'll recap. Let's let's go ahead and recap some of our dishes. Let's talk about our 3 cheese stuffed chicken breast. So we marinated that. I marinated that close to 36 hours, around, give or take a little bit. I think it was a little under, but that probably was a little bit too much. I got busy and I couldn't get right to it when I had originally planned. That vinegar based dressing, it kind of deteriorated the meat a little bit. And after I pounded it out, I should have cut it in easier strips so that when I stuffed the breast, I could roll it a little. It was a little messy. I was calling it a little rustic to kind of like divert from being a little messy. Let's call it rustic, okay? But anyways, but we live and learn from our experience, you know. So I haven't made a stuffed chicken breast in a while, and it showed, but the flavor was spot on, and that's the main thing. So, and when we marinated that chicken, oh, that was so yummy. We took 3 types of cheeses. We added the spinach. We rolled that up. We put a nice layer of yogurt and a nice panko, seasoned panko topping, and that was fabulous with the wild rice. So that was our 3 cheese and spinach dish. Let's see, would we do anything different? Yeah, we already talked about it, right? Well, let's recap about our buffalo chicken dip. That really went well, right? That was real easy to put together. There again, we marinated that chicken. One thing I did, I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, I did put a little bit of buttermilk in with the, I think it was the, I'm not sure if it was the Frank's Red Hot, or it was the buffalo wing sauce that you can already get in the grocery store. And I added like a half a cup of buttermilk, and that marinated the same time. Remember, we cooked everything. We cooked all the chicken at once, and the only thing we had to do that the night we ate it is the only thing we had to do the night we made it was put some extra cheese on top, shred the chicken because I didn't shred it. You can shred it as soon as you cook it while it's warm. That's easier, but I didn't do that. I was a little rushed with time, but I just shredded it that night, mixed. I had all the cheese mixture already made, so we just had to mix that all up, put it in the oven. That really was no time at all. And then toast our bread for, obviously, we did that the night of. We toasted the bread to get our hot and hearty sandwich, and I served some carrot sticks, celery sticks, and some ranch dressing. And that was so delicious. And warning, do not drive after that, because that made me comatose. That was such a it was a delicious meal, but it put me out. So don't eat and drive that night, okay? You might not want to. If you got to run out to um, soccer or baseball practice with the kids, make that a night you're at home. Because, I don't know, the carbs. But here's a little thing on that chicken buffalo dip. Then not the next day. I put the leftovers in the freezer, and then a few days later, I pulled that out that same day, microwaved it, and it reheated great, and I made my lettuce wraps because you saw on the video that my intention was to make lettuce wraps that night, and it was a cold night, and I'm like, you know what? I want some comfort food. I want some bread, so I caved. But the lettuce wraps, wow, that was really good. That was really good too. So it gives you that fresh feeling, a fresh tasting, and doesn't bog you down. You know, doesn't weigh you down. So a whole different experience. And let's see, is there anything else about that buffalo dip hot sandwich? There was something else, but I can't think of what it was that I wanted to tell you and recap on that. It'll come to me. Rats, I should have wrote it down. So let's go on. Let's recap on our Chicken Alfredo stuffed peppers. How'd you like those? Are you going to give them a try? So we went ahead and made the orzo pasta ahead of time. We, of course, cooked the chicken all at the same time. The only thing we cooked that night when we cooked the peppers, we pre-baked the peppers for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we just threw together the mixture. That was real easy. Shredded chicken, the orzo pasta, we used a little spinach, and the Alfredo sauce mixed and a little cheese. We mixed that all, stuffed the pepper, put it back in the oven, and we had supper like in 45 minutes, something like that. And that dish was great. Oh, I know what I was one of the things, Matt was great. One of the things I was gonna mention was you could really simplify these meals even more. Now, I went ahead and bought a pack of fresh chicken breast, did all my make ahead, and that night just whipped things together that you had to wait till the last minute. But you can cut corners and to save your time. If you're like trying to get out the door with the kids, you got a meeting at night, or you've worked a long work week and you don't want to do all that extra, but still have a delicious, satisfying meal, something other than a bowl of oatmeal, you can buy the rotisserie. So here are ways to make this meal prep even quicker for you. You can buy a rotisserie chicken. Now, granted, they're going to have their own flavoring, and that's going to change your flavor profile a little bit. So keep that in mind. But if it's no big deal, if it's more important for you to save the time and the energy, go ahead and buy a rotisserie chicken. Another thing with all these dishes and with chicken, when you buy that chicken, whether you're making it yourself or getting a rotisserie chicken, you probably have a little bit less of a shelf life maybe in your refrigerator. But if you've made the chicken yourself at home, fresh chicken, you need to eat that in 3 to 4 days. So you can make your make-ahead meals. Say, you know what, I want this for a day that I know is really super busy. Go ahead and freeze it. Go ahead and make it, freeze it, and then reheat. And you can take that out of the freezer either that morning, depending on what it is, or even the night before. But you don't want to have it over 4 days. Putting that out there. We don't want anybody getting sick. So there's one way to make it easier, buying rotisserie chicken. What's another way you can make it easy? You can buy all your cheeses already pre-shredded and just mix it together. I did that on some of them, and some of them I shredded myself. I find it economical to buy the block cheeses and shred it myself. And then you know what's in it, no anti-caking agent. But there again, you can save your time by pre-packaged shredded chicken. Another way you can save time is you can get some pre-cut veggies. You know, we go in the produce aisle. They've got your onions pre-pepped. You can, you know, if you want some jalapeno peppers, you can buy some de gallo and use that for your salsa if you don't want the. So you can switch and change things up. Uh, and still have, you know, have the same thing. Like if you're saying, I want to do this for the whole week, you've got four chicken dinners, but it's certainly not boring because you've got four different flavor profiles and you've got a kind of, you know, exciting little yummy dinner. And you maximized your time and maximized your effort to have a great meal. Um, so let's see. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There's always something else I want to recap on it, and then I think of it. I should write it down. But those are the main things. You know, you can using substitutes, make it a little bit quicker for you. And of course, I'm pretty much cooking for two, but we had leftovers, so you'll have to up your portions depending on how many you have to feed. But that chicken breast really went a long way.